Listen to this story. There was a man who smoked for 20 years straight. He tried every method you can imagine, from nicotine patches and therapy to expensive medications and even hypnosis. He spent a lot of money and fought this habit for years, but he always failed. Until one day he traveled to Japan for work, and there he met an old monk. The monk taught him something that completely changed his life. Within 3 months, that man quit smoking forever, not through suffering, not through nervous pressure, and not through iron willpower. The monk showed him a completely different path, a path so simple that it was hard for him to believe. What if I told you that everything you've been told about breaking habits is actually the opposite of the truth? What if you discovered that the very act of fighting your bad habits is exactly what gives them power? Imagine there was a way for bad habits to disappear on their own, without having to fight yourself every day or fear failure. The Japanese have understood something about human nature that the modern world is only beginning to discover. They don't see habits as enemies that must be defeated. They don't believe in fighting yourself. Instead, they designed a simple system that becomes friends with your mind rather than enemies with it. Our biggest problem is forcing and fighting. Every new year, we go to the gym with huge motivation, but within a few months, we give up everything. We delete social media apps to supposedly give our minds and souls a break, but 2 days later, we install them again. We constantly make big promises to ourselves and set impossible standards. And when we fail, we drown in shame and feelings of inadequacy. The Japanese say habits are not our enemies. Habits are simply patterns that once had a purpose. The smoker who reaches for a cigarette during stress once found calm in smoking. The person who overeats at night once found comfort in food. If you want to understand how to get rid of toxic habits without fighting them, stay with me until the end of this video, because we're going to reprogram your mind. To start, write in the comments, "I'm ready to choose the right path." Let me tell you another story. There was a young Japanese monk who struggled with anger. Every day, some small event would make him lose his temper and shout at his students. He tried everything he knew, hours of meditation, repeating different chants, even long fasts, but none of it worked. The more he fought his anger, the stronger it became. It was like he was struggling in a swamp. Until one day an old master told him, "Stop fighting your anger. Instead, become curious about it. Watch it as if you were looking at a cloud in the sky. Notice when it appears, what sensations it creates in your body, and what thoughts come along with it. Just observe. Don't judge it and don't fight it." This is the principle of non-judgmental observation. The young monk began practicing. When anger came, instead of suppressing it, he allowed it. He felt it. He noticed the heat in his chest and the tightening of his jaw. Within a few weeks, something strange happened. Anger no longer had power over him. The Japanese believe in a great principle: impermanence. They understand that nothing lasts forever, not even your intense craving for a cigarette or that nervous urge to check your phone. When you truly understand this, everything changes. Most of us, when temptation appears, either surrender immediately or fight it until we're exhausted. Both approaches treat temptation like an emergency, but the Japanese method suggests a third way. Feel the temptation, but don't act on it. Sit beside that uncomfortable feeling like you would sit beside a friend who is having a hard time. A Tokyo businessman used this exact method to quit smoking after 20 years. He didn't throw away his cigarettes. In fact, he kept them on his work desk. When the urge came, he would pick up a cigarette, smell it, and feel the craving. Then he would set a timer for 10 minutes and tell himself, "When the timer rings, you can smoke." During those 10 minutes, he didn't fight. He simply watched how the wave of craving rose and fell in his body. He discovered something important. The peak of a craving only lasts 3 to 5 minutes. If you can hold yourself during that short time, you'll discover a powerful truth. You are not your cravings. You are the awareness that observes them. This means willpower is not what you thought it was. Willpower is the capacity to tolerate urges. Let's be honest. In our culture, we love hero stories. We want to go from being lazy to becoming a marathon runner overnight. We want to delete all our bad habits starting Monday and become a completely different person. But this all or nothing thinking is exactly what makes us fail every time. The Japanese have a magical concept called Kaizen. Kaizen means continuous small improvement. Instead of trying to change everything at once, just create a 1% change. That's it. This might seem ridiculous to our impatient minds, but neuroscience confirms it. Look, your brain's neural pathways that hold your habits have existed for many years. They weren't built overnight, so they won't disappear overnight either. They are like wide highways that you've traveled for years. You can't destroy a highway with a single swing of a pickaxe in one day. When you try to create a big sudden change, your brain's alarm system activates. Your nervous system sees sudden change as danger and immediately becomes defensive. That's why when you suddenly start a strict diet, your cravings for sweets multiply 100 times. Your brain is fighting to return you to the old pattern it considers safe. But Kaizen slips under your brain's radar like a spy. If you watch 4 hours of TV every night or scroll endlessly through Instagram Explore, you don't need to quit your phone completely tomorrow. Just spend 5 minutes less. Those 5 minutes are so small that your brain's alarm system doesn't even wake up. Your brain thinks everything is normal, so it doesn't resist. A woman in Kyoto used this method to overcome her addiction to online shopping. She didn't cancel her bank card. She simply made a rule. She would wait 24 hours before buying anything. If she still wanted the item after one day, she would buy it. Gradually, she extended that waiting period to 2 days, then 3 days. After 6 months, she reached a point where she waited an entire week before buying anything. And interestingly, after a week, she often didn't even want to spend the money on those unnecessary things anymore. Big habits cannot be defeated with a knockout punch. They must be worn down with patience and consistency. Most attempts to quit habits fail because we only try to remove something. But there's a big truth that no one tells you. Nature hates a vacuum. If you remove a habit from your life but don't replace it with something else, that bad habit will come back like a compressed spring with even more force. The Japanese have a concept called Ikigai, the reason you wake up in the morning. They understand that most of our toxic habits are actually painkillers for a deeper wound. We smoke because we're stressed. We overeat because we're lonely. We scroll on our phones because we're bored and our lives feel meaningless. If you don't address the underlying need, fighting the habit is like trying to stop a water leak with your finger. Eventually, you'll get tired and give up. The Japanese method says, find out what emptiness that habit is filling in your life, and then find a healthy way to meet that same need. Let's give a practical example. There was a programmer who drank alcohol every night. He thought he was addicted to alcohol. But when he looked deeper, he realized he was addicted to overworking. Alcohol was like his end-of-day alarm clock, a signal that work was finished and it was time to rest. When he realized this, he changed his routine. As soon as work ended, he changed into comfortable clothes, made himself a special herbal tea, and spent 10 minutes drawing, something he had loved since childhood. In doing this, he satisfied his brain's need to shift states, but in a healthy way. He didn't fight alcohol. Instead, he solved the mental reason that made him need it, and he filled the gap with something he genuinely loved. When you reconnect with your real interests, the pull of destructive habits naturally weakens. Remember this: you cannot change yourself through hatred. You can only let go of old habits by discovering a deeper meaning and growing beyond them. Bad habits are like old skin that falls away when you grow. Let's take a clear, emotion-free look at how we usually deal with our failures. Most of us were taught that shame and guilt are the best tools for becoming a better person. When we mess up or return to that cursed habit again, we start whipping our own souls. I'm so weak. I'm so useless. See, you messed up again. But the truth that actually helps you is this: feeling worthless never changes anyone. Disappointment in yourself only traps you in an endless cycle of stubbornness and self-destruction. When you humiliate yourself, you waste the energy you need for change by fighting yourself and replaying the wrong path you took. The Japanese have another approach called non-judgmental acceptance. If you fall back into a bad habit again, instead of insulting yourself, treat it like a practice session. Tell yourself, I overdid it today. That's it. This is a skill that improves with practice each time. It is not a moral failure. When you remove the label of incompetent from yourself, your eyes finally open and you can see why you did it. What did you feel? What triggered you? That's how you find the flaw and repair the system. Let's imagine habits as walking paths in a dense forest. Your old or bad habits are like smooth paved roads. You've walked them so many times that your brain has created neural pathways for them. You can't erase that road from your mental map overnight, but you can build a new path and repeat it until it becomes clear. At first, clearing a new path is difficult. It's full of thorns and bushes. You have to struggle to open the way. But each time you choose the new path, the grass gets flattened and the road becomes clearer. At the same time, when you stop walking the old path, it slowly disappears from your mind. Eventually, a new smooth road replaces the old one. Change has nothing to do with forcing yourself. Change only has to do with intelligent repetition. A man addicted to his phone doesn't fight himself. Instead, he can place a book next to his bed. In the morning, instead of checking his phone, he reads just one page. This step is so small and simple that his brain doesn't resist it. After a month, that person not only no longer has a phone addiction, but he has also built a positive habit of reading for half an hour a day. My final message to you is this: the most lasting changes are the ones that move in harmony with your nature, not against it. You are not supposed to defeat yourself in order to rebuild yourself. You are not supposed to completely destroy your weaknesses. You are meant to grow and become bigger than them. The bad habit you want to quit is not your enemy. It is a teacher showing you where in your life you've drifted away from your true self. It's teaching you that the same path through which it was created can also be the path through which it disappears.